Right, Clause 8, Operation. This is the clause where your beautifully documented management system meets a normal Tuesday, and Tuesday usually wins. Here is the thing about ISO 27001. Clauses 4 through 7 are where you get to be clever. Context, leadership, planning, support, lovely stuff. You write a scope statement, you draw a risk matrix that looks like a sunset, you pick objectives with numbers in them, everyone feels productive. Then Clause 8 turns up and asks one very rude question. Did you actually do it? Not, did you write it down? Did you do it? Before I go further, let me be straight with you. I am not a certified lead auditor. I'm a bloke who reads the standard, works with people who are going through it, and has watched enough teams talk themselves into a comfortable lie to recognize the shape of one. Take that for what it is worth. If you want a signature on a certificate, that is not me. If you want somebody to tell you where the floor is thin, sit tight. So, Clause 8 has 3 parts, 8.1, 8.2, 8.3, small clause, massive consequences. Let us start with 8.1, operational planning and control. The standard says you shall plan, implement and control the processes needed to meet your information security requirements and to implement the actions you determined back in Clause 6.1. And here's the bit people skim past. You do that by establishing criteria for those processes and then controlling the processes in accordance with those criteria. Criteria? That word is doing enormous work. A criterion is not we take access reviews seriously. A criterion is every production system access list is reviewed quarterly by the system owner, and anyone who left is removed within 5 working days. One of those you can check, the other one is a vibe. Let us bring in our example. Small software company, 22 people sells a scheduling tool to dentists. Cracking product, and Dave. Dave is the overworked one. Dave is head of engineering, and also head of infrastructure, and also the person who resets everyone's password, and also, as of the ISO project, the information security manager. Dave did not apply for that last job. Dave was in the room. Dave's company has a policy that says access is reviewed quarterly. The policy is gorgeous, version controlled, approved by the board, has a little header logo on it. Ask Dave when the last review happened, and watch his eyes go somewhere else. That is the whole clause. Now, 8.1 also says you shall keep documented information to the extent necessary to have confidence that the processes have been carried out as planned. Read that again. Confidence that they were carried out, not confidence that they were written down. Evidence is not the paperwork about the process. Evidence is the exhaust from the process actually running. If your process ran, it left a trace, a ticket, a signed-off review, a log, a dated record with a human name on it. If it left nothing, you have a very strong argument that it did not happen. And we do it. We just do not record it is the single most expensive sentence in the English language because you get to do all the work and receive none of the credit. Sound familiar? Still in 8.1. And this is the one nobody talks about. You shall control planned changes and review the consequences of unintended changes, taking action to mitigate any adverse effects as necessary planned changes, and unintended ones. Every one of you has a change process. Every one of you also has a Friday afternoon where somebody hot-fixed production because a customer was screaming. Both of those are real. Only one of them is in your documentation. The standard is not naive about this. It knows unintended changes happen. What it asks is that you look at what fell out of them and do something about it. That is a genuinely reasonable ask. It is also the thing almost nobody does, because reviewing the consequences of a mess feels like being told off, and everybody is very busy. And then the last part of 8.1. You shall ensure that externally provided processes, products, and services that are relevant to the information security management system are controlled. Your cloud provider, your managed database, your outsourced developers in another time zone, the little tool that reads your entire customer database so it can send nicer emails, that contractor who still has a login from a project that finished 18 months ago. Your scope does not stop at your office door. Your risk certainly does not. Dave's company runs on a big cloud provider and thinks that is a control. It is not a control. It is a supplier. A supplier with a shared responsibility model, which is a polite way of saying the bits you got wrong are still yours. Right? 8.2 Information Security Risk Assessment. You shall perform information security risk assessments at planned intervals or when significant changes are proposed or occur, and you shall retain documented information of the results at planned intervals or when significant changes occur. So the risk assessment is not a thing you did once in a heroic weekend in March, so you could get certified in May. It is a repeating act. It has a heartbeat. If your risk register was last touched before your certificate was issued, your risk register is not a risk register. It is a photograph. And here is where it gets pointed. You shipped a new product line, you took on a customer 3 times bigger than any before, you moved a whole workload to a new region. You hired a support team who can now see customer data at 2 in the morning. Every one of those is a significant change. Every one of those should have poked the risk assessment. Did it? Honestly then, 8.3 Risk Treatment, and this one is beautifully short. You shall implement the Information Security Risk Treatment Plan and retain documented information of the results. That is it. That is the clause. Implement the plan. Keep the receipts. Because a treatment plan is a list of promises with dates on them, and a promise with a date on it that quietly slides past its date is not a control. It is a wish with admin. So here is the comfortable lie, and I want to name it properly because everybody in your company already knows it and nobody says it out loud. Documented system says one thing. The way work actually happens on a Tuesday says another, and there's a quiet agreement, never written anywhere, that everyone will look at the first one and not mention the second. That is how a certificate becomes fiction, not through fraud. Nobody sits down to cheat. It happens through drift and politeness, and Dave having 11 jobs. Cute, isn't it? A whole security posture held together by a man who has not taken a proper holiday since the last funding round.
Now, the honest puncture, because I am not going to sell you a miracle. Closing this gap is not a document exercise, and there is no template that fixes it. There is no magic spreadsheet. Nobody can promise you an audit outcome, and anyone who does is selling something. Real Clause 8 compliance is boring, repeated, dated work done by people who are already busy. That is the whole trick. There isn't a clever version. But the good news is, it is small. It is one review done on time with a name and a date on it, then another one. That is all a control is. So here is my dare, and I mean this week, not next quarter.
Pick one process from your treatment plan. Just one. The one you are least keen to look at. Go and find the evidence that it ran in the last 90 days. Not the policy. The evidence, if you find it, brilliant, you are in better shape than you thought. If you cannot find it in 20 minutes, then you have just discovered that your management system is a story you have been telling yourselves. Go and look, and be honest about what you find, because your auditor will be